It's cheap, it's extremely nutritious, and it's very much an acquired taste. Today we're making liver and onions. Now before you freak out and go ahead and skip, just trust the process a little bit on this one. I know it's not for everybody, but we're gonna make it to where most everybody can at least try it, if not like it. So, all that being said, let's go ahead and get started by adding some oil to our pan. But butter and onions go together super well. So we're just gonna go ahead and make this as much in our favor as possible, because whenever you say liver and onions, if you're not already a fan of it, it is a little bit of a tough sell. I get it. We're gonna go ahead and make this as phenomenal as we can. Now, when your butter is melted, go ahead and turn the pan up to a medium-high heat, and then add your onions. We're just looking to caramelize these right now. Very simple instructions, very simple recipe. Now for your onions, go ahead and give them a toss, give them a stir every once in a while. Not too often, because we're looking to caramelize them, which means they're going to need a little bit of time to set at the bottom and soak up some of that heat. So while your onions are cooking, we're going to go ahead and get our flour ready for the liver step, which is, I'm sure, everybody's part that they're waiting for. And it's just a seasoned flour with salt and pepper. Liver is pretty strong, so a lot of the seasonings you could throw on it are just going to get blended in, and they're just going to kind of fade away. So salt and pepper is just a solid choice. Once your onions have caramelized, we're going to take them out of the pan and just set them to the side. When you're preparing your liver, take it out of the package, rinse it off with some water in the sink, and then marinate it in a bit of milk or buttermilk. I did mine in buttermilk. And the theory is it helps absorb some of that harsh liver flavor. And I've heard some people say, oh, it doesn't matter. I've seen some people swear by it. But this is the way I grew up having it. Now, when you're making liver and onions, there's two typical livers that you'll use. One is beef liver, and the other is calf liver. Both are perfectly fine, perfectly acceptable. But the thing you've got to know is beef liver tends to be a little bit harsher, a little bit stronger. And when people say, oh, it's got that liver taste, typically they're talking about beef liver because it is much stronger. The calf liver is still strong, but not nearly as bad. And like I said, if you put it in some milk or some buttermilk, in my personal opinion, it helps mellow it out a little bit, makes it a little bit more palatable. I say go ahead and go with the calf liver, because it takes a lot of the harsh taste out. Now, when you are cooking your liver, you only want to do about 1 minute to 2 minutes on each side, because if it's very thin, you're looking for it to go to almost like a medium. You don't want it to cook all the way through well done, because then it becomes a little bit more bitter and a little bit tougher. So we're trying to mitigate some of that flavor that everybody kind of turns their nose up at by just taking it to a medium. And you're only going to do that by going in a medium-high pan for about 1 minute to 2 minutes on each side. Like I said, it's a very quick process once you get them in there. Once we have our liver and onions cooked, we're going to throw a little bit more butter into the pan and make our gravy. Once your butter is melted, go ahead and add some of your seasoned flour that you use to dredge your liver in to the pan to create your pan roux. Once you have a pan roux formed, you're going to take some liquid. Typically, it's going to be beef broth. In my case, I'm using Better Than Bouillon and water. And you're going to stir that in there and start to thicken it. Once your gravy starts to thicken just a little bit and it comes to a simmer, add garlic and herbs. I'm using garlic, rosemary, and thyme for mine, but go ahead and use whatever herbs you feel most comfortable with. And let your gravy simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, some of you may be wondering why I chose to do liver and onions. It's because, one, I had liver and onions growing up. It's a little bit of nostalgia. It reminds me of my youth. 2, it's very cheap. Liver can usually run you from about $2 to $6 for enough to feed about 4 people, give or take. And 3, liver is incredibly nutritious. It's one of the most nutrient-dense meats you can buy. So it is highly, highly good for you. So it's very, very good for you. It just gets a bad rep every now and again just because the taste can be a little strong if you don't know what you're accustomed to or you don't know what you're expecting. But cheap, extra nutritional, those are things that got some people through some very tough times. And for instance, my father, he grew up on liver and onions as well. And this being the 18th year since he's passed, and we're coming up on Father's Day, I felt a little nostalgic, so I wanted to make a recipe in his honor and his memory that I knew he would have liked. Now, once your gravy is thickened, you're done. Now, if you don't have everything else ready to go, like if you have mashed potatoes or rice or a vegetable that you're trying to serve with it, then you can go ahead and throw your liver and your onions right back in the pan and just kind of let them sit on a warm eye, not a hot eye, and just let them hang out in the pan's heat. But we're ready tonight, so let's go ahead and plate up, and I'll show you guys what we got. So there you go, liver and onions. Now I know it's not everybody's favorite, but it's one of mine. It's been in my family for a while now, and if you give it a try, I think you'll like it too. But proof is in the pudding, so to speak. So we're going to try a little bit of it. It's a winner for me. Again, I understand it's not a dish for everybody, but it does come out really well with soaking it in the buttermilk and the milk beforehand, having it with a nice, thick, rich beef gravy. The onions add a nice layer of sweetness to it. You serve it with some mashed potatoes, you serve it with some rice. It's one of those good meals for when times are not so good. But if you like this, if you like this recipe and you enjoyed watching me make it, make sure you hit the like, share, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. It helps me grow, and I do appreciate it. And thank you for cooking with me.